you're just a normal guy or a normal girl, it is not going to work for you.
Isn't this... Who the f is this? Isn't this a normal guy? What?
If you don't believe me, you really cannot do progressive overload with calisthenics.
I'm going to react to the video this guy by the name of Jacob Seigler made on the topic of the problem with calisthenics.
What is going on YouTube? Okay, quick video today. I want to talk about calisthenics. More specifically, I want to talk about all the problems with calisthenics and why calisthenics just do not work. Yes.
As a professional guy who has been doing calisthenics for the last decade, 10 fucking years.
That's right, they don't work.
What the hell doesn't work?
And the reason I'm making the video is because I see so many ads, so many big time fitness influencers on social media who are just promoting calisthenics. They make it seem like calisthenics is the only thing you have to do to get ripped and have a six pack and all those things. And that's just not true.
The big problem with this is actually that for a beginner, is it much easier to promote to him, hey, you could actually get in shape with the least amount of equipment the fastest way possible, or you're gonna buy a gym membership, you're gonna do hypertrophy trainings, you're gonna have your rep ranges from 6 to 12, you're gonna eat this amount and this much nutrients, then you need to rest adequately. We're gonna split up all of your week. So on Monday you're gonna do chest, on Tuesday you're gonna do biceps and back, on Wednesday you're gonna do legs, and so on and so on. Which one is easier? To give a total beginner just one thing: learn pull-ups. You want to start your path to get in shape, start with the pull-ups and start with the push-ups. If you can't do them, use a rubber band, and then let's see. Which one is fucking easier? The body weight moves. Of course the body weight moves. Duh!
It's not going to work for the majority of people. It's not going to work for normal people. It'd be nice if it did. It'd be nice if it was that easy, if all you had to do was calisthenics and you could just get ripped. I mean, the reason people do calisthenics is because it's easier. It's because they don't want to squat. They don't want to get under a heavy ass barbell and do hard lifts and things like that.
What in the fuck?
And that might sound a little bit harsh, but allow me to explain. And again, this is going to trigger all the calisthenics people, but this is the truth.
Okay, let's hear him out.
So let me explain why calisthenics doesn't work. Calisthenics doesn't work because it's not incrementally loadable. And being incrementally loadable is basically the foundation of all effective strength training. You cannot incrementally load push-ups and pull-ups, even if you're doing some of the more impressive movements like muscle ups, things like that. You cannot incrementally load them. Now, let me be clear. I'm a huge fan of weighted pull-ups, weighted chin-ups, weighted dips, all those things. But if you're adding weight, that's not calisthenics. That's not body weight movement anymore. You're adding weight. So,
correct. That is what we call street lifting, basically.
Unless they're changing the definition, which most people aren't. Most people I see are making it seem like all you have to do is body weight stuff. Just to repeat, body weight stuff doesn't work. Body weight stuff can be fine for a beginner.
How doesn't it work? How doesn't it work? What doesn't work? What was the word that he said?
Not body weight movement anymore. You're adding. Incrementally loadable is basically the foundation of all effective. Incrementally loadable.
Incrementally loadable. This thinking is basically retarded. How isn't it incrementally loadable? Let's say you're a newbie, you're a beginner, you can only do 3 pull-ups. By the time you will reach your pull-up rep range to 12, let's say, where, the science is basically telling us that after rep 12, you're basically training for endurance, you're training for stamina. You're only training to get more pull-ups. That's the logic behind it. And this guy is basically telling us that after you have reached the so-called best rep range, if you're doing more than that, you can't build muscle. You're basically training at that point for endurance. But there's a big twist to that. You can always make the variation harder. And that's what these kinds of people don't understand. Calisthenics is the freest form of training. You can always make the variation harder. You don't need to straightly add weights. This is some If 12 pull-ups are easy for you, do 12 muscle-ups and then come back to me and then tell me that you can't get strength, you can't get mass.
And being incrementally loadable is basically the foundation of all effective strength training. You cannot incrementally load push-ups and pull-ups, even if you're doing some of the more impressive movements like muscle-ups, things like that. You cannot incrementally load them.
Yes, you can. Let's say pull-ups get way too easy. You're gonna start doing one-arm pull-ups. You're gonna use your muscles more in order to perform the one-arm pull-up. Hence, if the muscle gets stronger, the muscle must get bigger. What? Simple.
Now, let me be clear. I'm a huge fan of weighted pull-ups, weighted chin-ups, weighted dips, all those things. But if you're adding weight, that's not calisthenics. That's not body weight movement anymore. You're adding weight. So unless they're changing the definition, which most people aren't. Most people I see are making it seem like all you have to do is body weight stuff.
Yeah, most of the calisthenics guys I know incorporate a lot of free weights as well. Just like gymnasts, because they want to get their peak performance.
Just to repeat, body weight stuff doesn't work. Body weight stuff.
You're repeating the same thing, but you ain't thinking outside the box, yo.
Can be fine for a beginner. If you're brand new,
yes,
body weight stuff can work in the very beginning. But if you want to get to the point where you're super stoked with how you look, if you want to get big and strong, you are going to have to use barbells. There's just
no, you don't. No, you don't. That's the fucking stupidest thing to ever say. Look at me. Look at me. I'm a fucking testament to it. All of the other guys are a testament to this. My own crew is a testament to this.
There's no other way around it. Unless you have, I guess this is the fine point to talk about genetics. So there are a lot of people who just have such good elite genetics that all they have to do is body weight stuff and they're going to look amazing. And
yeah, that would be me.
that's all it takes for them to sell their programs. Because they have these elite genetics and they look amazing. They're probably
elite genetics. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Is this elite genetics? This was me back in 2015, 2014. How is this elite genetics? I was a stick. This
taking steroids too, but for some of them, I'm sure they just have elite genetics.
Yeah, a lot of them take steroids. That's a fact.
And they say, well, if you want to look like this, you just have to do my calisthenics program. Yeah, well, it works for them if you're in the top fraction of a percentile genetics. But if you're...
No, it doesn't work in a fraction of a percentile of genetics. Most people get this fundamentally wrong. Don't get this wrong. If you look like this, do you think I wasn't telling myself that I had bad genetics? Do you really think if I looked like this, I had good genetics? Is this good fucking genetics? This isn't good genetics. How will you know if you have the genetics to get this muscle that will come when you're doing calisthenics? You need to do calisthenics. You will get the muscle. It's simple as that. Once I reached my level of physique, then I was like, was it genetics? After fucking 10 years of ruthless dedication, most people look like fucking this and they talk about, I don't have the genetics. Bro, you want to get in shape. You're not training for the fucking Olympics. What the fuck?
You're just a normal guy or a normal girl. It is not going to work for you.
Isn't this, who the fuck is this? Isn't this a normal guy? What?
If you don't believe me, try the program. And when it doesn't work, come back here and I'll give you...
Yeah. If it doesn't work, bro, this guy, all of these guys are my friends. They have trained for the same amount of time as me. They have done only calisthenics. Tell me, where the fuck is the logic behind you can't build muscle, you can't get strong? What?
Give you a program that is going to work for you. And then there's also the problem that a lot of those people are just on steroids.
Again, the steroid accusation. You know, the biggest influencers most likely are, of course they fucking are. Who isn't on steroids if they have tens of millions of followers and they need to pump out content every single day?
Non-calisthenics space are on steroids. A lot of people in the calisthenics space are on steroids.
Yeah, that is a fact.
And it's a big problem because, as I talk about all the time ad nauseum, if you are on steroids, fitness game is different than if you're just a normal person with normal hormones and normal physiology and all those things.
Physiology, normal, what the fuck was the word?
Then if you're just a normal person with normal hormones and normal physiology.
Normal hormones, normal physiology, I was normal.
And all those things. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, I just want to hit home the point. The main reason calisthenics doesn't work is because it is not incrementally loadable.
Yes, it is. I diluted your fact. Once you can do push-ups, let's say 100 push-ups, then you're gonna start to incorporate planche push-ups. But this is for the elite athletes. If you're an intermediate guy, then you might start thinking about it. But you can incrementally load.
You really cannot do progressive overload with calisthenics.
What?
And yes, you can increase the reps, but pretty soon you're going to get to the point where it's more cardio than actual strength training.
Facts. And the difference is, most guys don't know how to continue building strength.
I mean, once you get to the point where you can do 50 push-ups, which doesn't take very long, that is pretty easy. And if you're not there yet, I promise it's easier than you think. Once you get to the point where you can do 50 push-ups, then you can do 75. It's not that much harder. Then you get to the point where you can do 100. This is just becomes it becomes cardio, and it's
It actually becomes cardio. You're training for endurance at that point. But then you change the variations. You're gonna put your legs on the wall and then do push-ups. You're gonna do fucking handstand push-ups.
it's becoming a test of will, and that is not training.
How are push-ups incrementally loadable? If I'm doing normal push-ups and then after 3 years I weigh 5 kilograms more and I can do handstand push-ups, where is the logic? How isn't it incrementally loadable? You're doing fucking handstand push-ups. You started from a basic push-up and then I'm doing handstand push-ups. Then I'm going to do planche push-ups.
And if you don't know what I mean by that, check out my video about the difference between training and exercise, because that's going to be really important. You know, if you can do 75 push-ups, which again is not going to take you that long to be able to get there. If you can do
Yeah, it ain't gonna take you that long. In calisthenics, you progress quite fast.
75 push-ups and you think you've done all the push-ups you can, I guarantee you if I put a gun to your head, you could do at least 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30 more.
Yes, you can.
So that is not...
The same goes with basically everything if you put a gun to your head.
That's not going to be able to provide an effective progressive overload stimulus as it is if you are doing a heavy bench press where you're doing a heavy set of 5 and you know with a pretty high degree of confidence you found your max.
As I understand, this guy, I think, sells his course, as he mentioned before. Then I will give you my program and let's compare who gets the better results. I don't know why he bashes calisthenics so much. Maybe something happened to him. Who knows? Maybe he was unsuccessful in his calisthenics journey. I don't know. Who knows?
That you can do. One other thing I want to touch on is I've gotten this response from a handful of people when I talk about why calisthenics doesn't work, is they say, oh, well, what about people in prison? People in prison get jacked.
They aren't natural.
Just from doing calisthenics, allegedly. And again, that just goes back to the genetics. You see the guy who's jacked, but you don't see all of the people who try to do the same workouts and are nowhere...
Yes. In calisthenics is the freest form of training. The fucking logic that you can make a fucking calisthenics workout plan or routine is dog shit. I have a video on this topic as well, that I have never bought a single workout program in my 10 years of doing this sport.
Near that level of fitness. Don't get me wrong, you can get in pretty good shape by just doing calisthenics.
Am I in pretty good shape? This guy would probably say I am the top 0.11111% of genetics. Let's leave the part out where I have trained for the last 10 years. Genetics. It's genetics.
And you'll be in better shape than the average person. But if you want to look amazing and feel amazing and be strong and all that sort of thing, have kind of that movie star look, you have to use heavy weights.
No, you don't. I am more shredded than Spider-Man ever was. I am more aesthetic than Spider-Man ever was. I think he has a problem with calisthenics. The problem with calisthenics, I think he has a problem with calisthenics. I don't know. I'm not sure why he bashes it so much.
You have to use heavy barbells specifically. There's just no other way around it. I wish it was easier. I wish I didn't have to tell you that you're going to have to do heavy.
Of course, you ain't gonna do squats. I can't say anything about squats and legs because I haven't done it. I mostly do freestyle calisthenics, so I compete and all of that kinds of things. But I know big hunky guys who do their leg workouts at the gym, but they still, the whole body weight they do only with calisthenics.
Heavy squats and heavy bench presses and weighted dips, chin-ups, things like that I talk about all the time. You're just going to have to do it. It's just the way things are.
No, they're not. They literally aren't like that.
So going back to the prisoner example, you're going to see the guy with the top tier genetics. He probably has super high testosterone levels. For a guy like that, almost any training stimulus is going to yield amazing results. But you don't.
If you have a guy who did a calisthenics workout plan, followed it rigorously, came to you, I didn't get the results, that guy didn't train. Simple as that.
So if you have any feedback, if this video, if you think I completely missed the mark here and calisthenics are the best way for everybody to get in shape, let me know in the comments.
Yeah, closing words. I think he missed the mark. You don't know what genetics you have before you have given your all to it. You can incrementally train calisthenics. Yeah, those are my thoughts basically. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe and see you on the next video.